What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com and welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, the 50-point races for the Kentucky Derby start this weekend with the Risen Star Stakes at Fairgrounds. I'm going to go ahead and put the field up on the screen now for you guys. We're going to go to Fairgrounds Saturday, February 15th. Race 14 on the card. It is the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes. Going a mile and an eighth here, $500,000 the purse. Well, since the Fairgrounds extended their distances, making this race a mile and an eighth, and then the Louisiana Derby a mile and 3/16. I don't know what it is, but boy, I think this circuit, I should say, has gotten stronger, and this Risen Star has been a hell of a race the last few years. I think it's going to be a pretty darn good race once again on Saturday. So let's get to it. Let's break it down here. Like I said, field of 13. We'll start. We'll go through one by one, and we'll start with the number one, American Promise, and this Dwayne Lucas trainee. Well, it took 6 races, but the horse finally did get the maiden broke 2 races back at Oaklawn Park, going a mile and 16th. Pretty good race, and then went on to run 6, beaten 6.5 in the Southwest. So that's not so good. Lucas takes shots. I don't really blame him for taking a shot here. Sources by Justify out of a Tappet mare. So obviously really good breeding. Give it a shot. Going to get Keith Asmussen to ride. I don't love this horse today. I didn't really love Innovator when he shipped last time out for the Compton. He got third. Maybe American Promise can do more of the same, but I don't know. A little skeptical here. Going to be a lot of speed. I'm just not sure this horse can see the trip all the way out. All right. The number 2 is Jonathan's Way. This horse coming in off back-to-back losses after back-to-back wins. Opened up the career with a maiden special weight win at Saratoga. Ultra impressive. And then won the Iroquois in the next start. Beat Owen Almighty going a flat mile there at Churchill. That's a really good win. Unfortunately, stretching out to 2 turns, have not been as impressed with Jonathan's Way. Seventh, beaten 7 lengths in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and then second, beaten 2 1/4 in the Kentucky Jockey Club by First Resort. Don't like that. Maybe the stretch out is not what he wants to do. That's where I'm at with him. Sources by Vacoma out of an Indian Charlie mare that does not scream a mile and an eighth. I think you still got to try it. I get why they're doing it, but I'm just a little bit worried that maybe this horse isn't quite up for the challenge of going a mile and an eighth. So a little scared of that, but I do think he's got talent. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of talent, the number 3 Vassimo will ship in for Todd Pletcher after back-to-back wins. Broke the maiden at Gulfstream Park going a mile, beat a horse named Rapture, who came back to run a very nice maiden special weight at Oaklawn in his next start. Went to Tampa to run an allowance race, and did it again very nicely. Won by 2 3/4. Not flashy by the numbers. The final times are not flashy, but this horse is 2 for 2. Hasn't really been in danger of losing, and Irad Ortiz will come in to ride. So those are the positives. I'm taking a wait and see approach with this one. Like I said, 2 really nice races in a row. Neither really came back all that fast. That's the worry. So we'll kind of see what happens here with Vassimo. I like that Pletcher's bringing one in and Irad's riding. That should be fun to see what happens there. The number 4 is East Avenue. And if you watch any of my videos over the last, since October, really raved about this horse. His Breeders Futurity 2 races back was fantastic at Keeneland, going gate to wire, winning by 5 1/4. Unfortunately, total disaster in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Stumbled badly at the start. Ended up, sitting in like 8th and 9th place and just never moved. So not great. Just didn't do much of anything after that start. Going to have to bounce back, but I think he should. He's working lights out. Everything seems to be ready for him to take off and run a big race here. So East Avenue, the 4 horse, we'll see if he comes back, and we'll see if he comes back strong. The number 5 is Chunk of Gold. This horse will move over to the dirt after 2 races on the synthetic surface at Turfway Park. 6 furlong race on debut, won by a neck, and then went on to run second in his next start in the Leonidas Stakes there at Turfway Park. Pedigree says we might be okay on the dirt. We'll see what happens here. Maybe just a tad slow, though. That's kind of my worry. I'm not in love with this horse, but too many question marks for me, but we'll see. Maybe the dirt will improve the 5 Chunk of Gold. The 6 is Seattle Road. It's a horse that I don't think has much of a chance, just to put it bluntly. Was 7th, beaten 3 3/4 at 79-1 last time out in the comp. Did win 2 races back at Fairgrounds at a maiden special weight. I don't think the stretch out and distance will hurt him much. I just don't know that he turns the table here. I'm just not a huge fan of Seattle Road in this spot, so probably not for me. The number 7 is Septerarian. This one comes in for Chad Brown after running 3rd last time out in a stakes race there at Gulfstream Park, the Mucho Macho Man. His 2nd place runner, Treaty of Rome, came back last time out in a Sam F. Davis and really didn't do much. Septarian, I don't know. Gets Flavian Pratt. I think that's a good sign, but I don't know. I don't like this horse all that well. Should like the stretch out and distance. I'm not sure this is a dirt horse, though. I think it's skeptical that this horse is really going to do his best running on the dirt. So I hate to be just repeating myself here, but this one's kind of not for me either. The number 8 is Giacoso, and this is a horse that's been mostly on the turf. Did have a 3rd place running 3 races back on the dirt in the Iroquois, where, like I said, he was beaten 7 lengths, so it wasn't all that competitive. Decent race in the Bourbon. He was 6th, but he kind of got way behind. He did make a run, and then last time out in the in an allowance race at Churchill on the turf, first there ahead by 3/4 of the length at the wire. But again, he's by not this time, but he's out of an Ireland mare, so it's mixed bag. I really think the turf is where they need to put him. Like I said, I hate to be repeating myself, but I don't like Giacoso very much in this race either. And it kind of is a theme. Look, if East Avenue is this kind of really good horse, he should beat the ones I've listed so far. Let's keep going. The number 9 is Built. This horse won the Gun Runner Stakes 2 races back right here at Fairgrounds. Finished 2nd, only beating a neck in the Lecomte. That race did not come back very fast, and he had no excuse to lose the race. He broke from the far outside, but he was able to maneuver over and get a pretty good ground-saving trip, actually. It was a pretty good ride. Luis Saez jumps aboard today. I think that's a great sign. He's the horse I like best so far, other than East Avenue, as we go down here, down the horses. But I don't know. That race kind of left a bad taste in my mouth a little bit last time out. I thought he should have just been better than that, honestly. I thought he should have won. Disco Time won that race, and I thought he was good, but he was way out in the parking lot. He had all kinds of excuses to lose, and he was still able to win. So I don't know. I'm not overly excited for Built. I think he's a board hitter. I don't know if he can win, to be completely honest. The number 10 is Render Judgment. If I don't like Built, it's going to be tough to like the number 10 Render Judgment. He was beaten 9.5 by Built last time out in the Gun Runner Stakes. He's beaten 8.5 by First Resort in the Kentucky Jockey Club. Of course, Jonathan's Way beat him that day as well. Yeah, he's not for me either. So another horse I'm not all that excited about. The number 11 is Jolly Samurai. I like this horse. Remington Park Special. Remington Park is my track. Well, at least one of my home tracks. He started his career at Remington Park, 3 straight victories. Tried the Springboard Mile, ran 5th, beaten 7.5. Tried the Lecomte, ran 9th, beaten 7. I don't really know what to say past that. I just don't think he's this type of horse. He's another one I just do not like all that well. The number 12 is Vamos Carlitos. This is a horse coming off of a 2nd place effort, beaten 3/4 of a length last time out at Fairgrounds in an allowance race. He was defeated by Admiral Dennis, a horse I did like at one time. Boy, this allowance race was not good. It was pretty bad. 2 races back, we were against Claiming Company. Nice win at Churchill Downs by 3/4 of a length. Why do I have a lot of interest? I mean, far outside, coming out of a bad race where he didn't win. No, not for me either. And then finally, the number 13 is Magnitude. This is kind of one that just kind of runs on late. It was 6th, beaten 2 3/4 in the Lecomte. It was 2nd, beaten 6 3/4 in the Gun Runner. I do think the stretch out's going to help this horse. I do think the pace is going to help this horse. I don't think he's very good, to be clear, but maybe he gets a little bit of a setup. Maybe he's one at a little bit of a price you can play. I mean, that's just kind of the best thing I can say about him. I do think getting this horse going longer, I think a 1 1/8 Risen Star, I think that makes sense. I wouldn't want to see him in a 1 16th Rebel next week. I'd want to see him right here, stretch him out. If he gets the pace, work out a trip, but he loses Ortiz. Ben Curtis is going to ride because Ortiz is on Jonathan's Way, the 2-horse. That's not a great sign for magnitude. So, there's just not many horses I like in here. It is a 50-point race, but there's really only one horse I like in this race, and that's the number 4 East Avenue. I think one of two things are going to happen here. I think East Avenue is going to show up, run a great race, be the real deal, and we're going to be excited. Or I think we're going to see something nuts, like 20, 30, 50 to 1 fairground special if East Avenue does not show up and he's not the horse. Because I'm telling you right now, the other 12 horses in this race, ooh, buddy, you can poke holes in a lot of them. So it's going to be a little bit of a crapshoot. What if mentally East Avenue, that Breeders' Cup Juvenile, took a little bit out of him? We could see a huge upset here. I don't think so. I think that Breeders Futurity race on October 5th of last year, that type of effort will dominate this race, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to go number 4 East Avenue on top. Not going to be shocked, though, to see a little bit of an upset in here if it happens, because it is one of those things. If East Avenue does not run well, this thing could get really weird really quickly. So I'm going to go number 4 East Avenue to win the Risen Star Stakes at Fairgrounds, the first 50-point Kentucky Derby prep race. All right, guys, I'll look for a preview. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted when we do more videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Fairgrounds on Saturday.